Hello, welcome to Authentic You. I'm SeaJay Leapshire, your host, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Erika Myberg.
Hello.
And Deborah Giles.
Hi, guys.
And we faithfully come and chat about nonsense with you. But we're also, this season, we are listening to messages that were on AY events and recapping them because we felt like it's been such a powerful season with Authentic You. That's what AY is, if you're wondering. Authentic You is the women's meetings at our local church, Jesus Culture Sacramento. And it has felt like God is doing something so unique there that's why we're doing these messages. But before we get into this, Deborah has got herself into a new thing that she's doing.
A new venture in life.
A new venture. Deborah, I've known her a long time, has done quite a few ventures.
I have.
She went through a pillow making venture.
I know, for Christmas,
yes.
we all got throw
Yes.
pillows.
We all bought throw pillows.
It was like a sweatshop in my my room. I had to have people come over and help me. Remember, I got so many orders. It was like first year at church. I had like 4 random people who said they'd come volunteer to help me make my pillows.
And then
It's amazing.
she also decorates events sometimes. It becomes she does them so grand that when I look at her at the end, she looks like she's gonna die.
I do.
She's because she doesn't just do it normal. She's like, oh, I rented a tent to go inside this building. This is amazing.
Deborah has seasonal ventures.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the newest venture is she's flipping a house.
Yes.
And it's not just any house.
No.
No, I mean, if you're going to go flip a house, go big or go home.
Totally.
We're
Yes.
going to go as big as we possibly can.
Yeah. How many acres is it on?
It's on 5 acres and it's 2 homes. So you're basically my first time flipping a home. I'm flipping 2 homes at once. And it has been wild, really wild.
I did go out and look at it. And because Deborah has such great taste, everything in me was like, yes, I will buy this house just because I don't have to do anything. Because Deborah did it for me.
I know. Even last night we were looking at it and Daniel says to me, are you sure you don't want to buy this house? I'm like, no, I don't want to buy it. But it's
a beautiful house. I
house.
went out and looked at it and
It is beautiful.
tried to move in there myself.
It's true. I'm trying to sell it to my friends. That's my goal. So yes, I have been in the middle of flipping this property since, May. So it's been about 4 months now. And I thought flips were 30 days. I didn't realize it'd be like months and months. So a couple weeks ago, my husband, I go to show him the house and everything. And there's a contractor and he's got his team there. Of just a couple, maybe 3 or 4 people there. And so Daniel, my husband, I would probably be a woo. He's very much like SeaJay. He woos people. He loves them. He's used to working with people. So he goes in, hits it off the contractor, and is just warm. And he tells me, because I'm a little bit more tasked than people and I want to get things done. He's like, Deborah, you have to warm up your people. You need to give them things and you need to give them food and drinks and you need to make them feel like they love working with you. And so he says it to me as we're kind of walking by the side of the house and no one's there. And so the contractor comes up and Daniel just says, we want to bring you food. You guys have done such incredible. And so I'm sitting there listening and he goes, we're going to bring you food tomorrow. And inside I'm thinking, tomorrow's the 4th of July. I have so many things on my plate and now you've just committed to give, to bring food. So we get in the car, such a man. And so I get in the car and I'm trying to be grateful, but inside I'm like, you've added another thing to my plate. And he's like, don't worry about it. We're just going to get Costco pizzas. We'll get some drinks. It'll be great. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, you're in charge. I'm not doing this. I can't add. This is 20 years of marriage. I probably would have done it in the past. Now I'm like, good luck. Have fun with that. You just promised the world.
Is Costco open 4th of July?
You know what? That is a great question, Erika, which leads to my next point. So we get up on the 4th of July and he promises, he goes, I'll bring food for lunch.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm going to run to Costco. Went to Costco. It's closed.
Because they're Americans.
Because they're
It's
American.
one of the 2 days in the year, basically, that they close.
Yes. Yeah. So he goes to multiple places that are closed. So now he's in a panic. What do I do? What do I do? And so I'm like, you know what? Quick and easy and cheap. Just run over to Little Caesars. Grab a couple pizzas, some breadsticks. You'll be fine. So he's there and he asked me, how many pizzas, what do I bring? And I'm like, you know what? It's the 4th of July. There's hardly anyone there. I probably 3 people. I'd probably get 2 pizzas and some breadsticks and, you'll be fine. So I text the contractor. I said, my husband's over to bring food for you guys. And he says, because, it's a bit of a language barrier and stuff. And so he goes, oh, I didn't realize. I just sent my team out to get lunch. I'll have them come back. And because I said, Daniel will be there in about 10 minutes. I said, okay. So So Daniel gets to the house with his 2 pizzas and his breadstick, and he's standing there on the porch waiting for them to come in. And car after car after car begin to show up. They had an extra large team because it was a holiday, and there was like 20 people. I have never seen more than 5 people work on that house. And here's Daniel with his 2 little pizzas. Like, we want to bless you, and here's our 2 little pizzas for you.
Welcome.
You guys, he was so embarrassed. I said, "You say anything?" He literally was like, "I hope you guys have a great lunch," and walked out and
he
left.
didn't do anything else?
As a British man, to be embarrassed like that, he was humiliated. And I was just like, so we laugh about it. We're like, you and your 2 pizzas. So we've had to make it up. We've gone back and brought them lunch, but we laugh about that. I'm like, that's what happens when you volunteer generosity on a very busy day and you're asking my opinion. That's what it is. So we just laugh about Daniel.
And you are like Miss Frugal as it is. You were not going to go
No, I'm not
more
going
than
all
2.
out.
No.
No, because I'm like, number one, there's 2 or 3 people there, and they're getting paid to do this. They're probably getting paid double on. So I'm not going to do this whole thing. And we just laugh. So I'm always like, honey, you want to go bring him pizza? He's like, stop it.
That's
not
like
funny.
my worst nightmare. Like, if you're ever at something at my house that food's involved, I have enough for 3 times the amount of people there because running out of food is my worst nightmare.
Yes.
Did they ever talk about it?
No.
Okay,
no.
so it's just like...
No, he said thank you later on. He said thank you. And then I think I did later on say, Fernando, like you had 2 people there the day before. So I wasn't thinking of feeding all these people. And I thought later I was thinking they probably all got in their car and went back to get lunch.
100%.
They're probably like
these,
cheap. I'm like, these cheap gringos, like they give us nothing.
Yeah.
Hopefully they blame it on the Brit.
Absolutely.
Not the Americans.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The real Americans were celebrating.
Right, absolutely.
Getting your fireworks ready.
They're busy celebrating independence.
Exactly.
Yeah. The Brit just
has
stepped in
no
it.
idea.
He just stepped in it. And then he just kept stepping in it.
Yes.
Then he
just, like,
tracked the
shut your
poop
mouth.
everywhere. He was like...
But because of his accent, he sounds polite. And you're like, you're being mean. You're not polite. That's not nice.
Oh my gosh.
So I would say,
I would have died inside.
With standing with your 2 pizzas as car after car pulled up to
Little Caesars
and Little
pizza.
Caesars.
You're like, I got
cheapest-
you the cheapest piece of crap, and I got you a small amount of it.
exactly what it was.
And him not even saying anything.
No,
that
literally
is
just like
the
he
worst.
just said it there
Have a good
on the
lunch.
porch and just said, have a great lunch.
That
Oh.
would feed my 3 kids.
No.
Like, my 3
No.
kids would be like, thanks, Mom. Like, what's that going to do? Like,
So embarrassing.
Okay, well, good thing you guys fixed it.
Yes, we did.
Otherwise, I would really go double check their work.
No, I know.
They're
They're
like-
probably doing
You think those
the Little
light-
Caesars pizzas just slid under the
The
floorboards of the house.
Yeah, or things are not screwed in, or I
They're
don't
like,
know.
take this if that's what you're going to treat us.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
That's so
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, we have lots of life updates that we will bring you this season. But yes, there you go for Deborah. So she's been my favorite is with Deborah. If you get to know her, she would win if there was an award for worst texter in the world.
No.
Deborah would win a gold medal. Like, she would be at the top of the podium, and we would play the national anthem at the Olympics for you.
I think my son will give her a good go, though.
You think so?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Deborah, my favorite, my personality, I was talking to
But
somebody else.
Deborah's in a different age group. They compete in different
That's
age
true.
groups.
Right.
Okay. Yes.
I was talking to somebody who has gotten hurt by my husband's personality and like how he doesn't do stuff, but now they're like friends now. So it was like one of those things. And I was thinking about myself, and I'm like, man, probably because I grew up in a big family with a lot of divorce, and I had to become adaptable.
Yeah.
So like my personality, I don't really get bothered by things. So like with you and texting,
Yes.
it doesn't bother me. I just know if you respond to a text and I catch it in that moment, I immediately start texting you back because I'm like, she's on.
She's
Go,
on.
Go. So like
Right.
any information I need from you, I'm like shooting texts
do
out
it.
left, right, and center because I'm like, she's on her phone.
And
This is a
Deborah's
good
like,
time.
You're
I
right.
hate this. I'm never texting back.
It's so true. Well, okay, so 2 things. One
It's
is if you met
overwhelming.
my sister and my mom. Well, my mom's much better than, but my sister and I are the same. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a twin thing. I don't know what it is. But also, I don't like being on call all the time. Like having your phone on you. And then I got into a business where I was in probably 100 group text messages.
Yes.
So that creates anxiety. But my goal is to Apple, if you're listening to this, is to create 2 inboxes. So when you pull up your text messages, you have a work box and you have a personal box, because I have to sort through 20 work ones to get to my personal ones. And by then I'm exhausted. Then I'm like, I've answered 2 and I'm done. I'm done. But I love that, CJ, because I've never thought about that, but you are so right. You're so right. It's like being on Instagram. I'm not on Instagram that much, but man, if I'm on Instagram, you're going to get 30 reels in a row. And then you're not going to get anything for 5 days.
But for me, like, it doesn't offend me about you. It's more funny. I'm like, oh, Deborah's on. All right. I need to know. Blue, 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 blue.
It's so true. You got it. That's amazing.
Funny.
Yeah. And I was like, everybody just needs to, you just got to figure it out. Like, I grew up with a pretty grumpy stepdad.
Okay.
And I got him to say yes to pretty much anything I asked for, because I just learned that when he said no, if I would just go, okay, thanks, Steve, and walk away, he came back usually within a couple hours and said, I was thinking about it, and yeah, you can do that. Where his own daughter would argue with him and tell him how mean he was for not letting her do it, and they would turn into like a whole screaming match.
Yeah.
Not me.
Hey, by the way, it's his birthday today. I saw it on your calendar.
It is.
Good to know. Maybe you could ask him to do something for you.
Yeah, no. I tried to teach my younger brothers too. I was like, guys, just when he says no, go, okay. And you know what else? My father-in-law is the exact same way.
Really?
He always will call and go, you know what? I thought about it. Yeah, I can do that.
See, there, you have good, that's called people skills. You have good people skills because you've read how people are. You don't take rejection. You're just like, how can I get them to say yes? I know they will.
I feel like it also is a master manipulator. Sometimes
Maybe.
I'm like, dear
It's the
Lord.
other side of the coin.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
like when I was teaching my younger brothers how to work over their dad. I was all
maybe
it was good. Still taught them. They didn't listen to me. They still let him push their buttons. I was like, guys, just walk away.
Right.
Go, thanks for listening. All right, I'm okay that I'm not going to hang out with my friends.
But I will
you're
say,
coming back around.
being you are a good friend though, because I've heard people come up to you and say to you or in a conversation, Deborah never texts and you always defend me. And I appreciate that. You say, no, she doesn't text me either.
Yeah,
you
I'm
always
like,
make it
don't
that
take
way.
personal.
Don't make it
I said,
personal.
when she has time, she'll text you.
Yeah. And so
Get
it does
over
feel
it,
like
people.
So yeah, I don't think Daniel feels the same. I think Daniel's like, can you just pick your phone up and text someone back? So
No.
Can you just stop promising people food?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I will text you back when you
stop-
quit promising people
yeah,
food.
being so British. Yeah. CJ, can you tell us about the sermon we are going to listen to today?
Yes, you guys, you're listening to me, which is very odd because if you know me personally, the last thing I ever want to do is be on stage and talk about something serious because I ugly cry. And guys, I don't have a face that can cry. It's not made to cry in front of people. My face should cry in private, in a closet. That's where it should cry. Anyway, so this message is about Mephibosheth and David and the story of David and Saul and their long journey. And, David had made a promise to honor Saul's family, invite that they would have a place at his table. But the thing that moved me as I read it was how when you actually read the story of Saul and David, like what Saul did to David was so atrocious. And so the emotions that David had to go through of being just loved deeply by Saul, then rejected by Saul, then Saul tried to kill him multiple times. And yet David kept the promise and invited his family to the table. And it just so moved me. Like, how many people do I decide you've wronged me so much that I have a right to not let you back in? I have a right to keep you from the table. And then also the other side of it that we talk about is who are the people that feel like I don't deserve to be invited to the table because either what my family has done or what I have done in my life is so bad that I don't have a place. I don't want people to see me at the king's table because I'm not worthy of it. For me, I had hoped that women would walk away with taking a moment to look like, who is it that I need to invite to the table? Who have I decided I'm better than? No, but or I deserve it. They don't deserve it. And if you're that person that doesn't think that you should be invited, that you would let the Lord speak to you. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this message, and don't tell me what my voice sounds like, because I don't want to hear myself. All right? That's our little secret. Just listen and enjoy. I'm going to talk to you guys about the King's Table. I love the story of David and Mephibosheth. I'm going to say Mephibosheth so many times tonight, and it probably will change through the night because, number one, who names their kid Mephibosheth? And I thought that was a joke, shorten it or something, Mephibosheth. So this story impacted me from the time I was 19 years old in all different ways. It's been a tender journey for me and Mephibosheth. But I want to talk to you guys about it from the aspect of inviting others to the table and also having courage yourself to come to the table when you've been invited. So when I was in college, you guys know, I've told you, I'm a pretty confident person and I'm pretty unaware if somebody doesn't like me. I live in a pretty happy bubble most of the time, and it's shocking when I find out somebody doesn't like me. I'm like, what? I've also told you guys, I think I look great, and then I see a picture of me, and I'm like, who took that? Who made my stomach stick over my jeans? When I look in the mirror, it's flat, and that person took a bad picture of me. It's not the way I look normally, all right? So I know you all need to join my world. People like me, and I look wonderful, okay? My daughter loves to take bad pictures of me and send them to the family group chat. So that is a harsh reality check when I get those. I'm like, what? Who let that person loose in our house? I'll have to say, one day I'm in college. I was ultra confident in college because I hadn't had any blows of life to kind of help level you, And so I'm walking, it's pouring rain. I'm walking to my class from the dorms, and I'm wearing a yellow raincoat. And I am obsessed mostly by my pocket because it has Red Hots in it. Because, who doesn't have Red Hots in their raincoat? And I'm pretty worried that the rain is going to get in my pocket and cause the Red Hots to leak all over my yellow raincoat. Okay? This is serious business when you're in college. And so I'm walking, it's pouring down rain, and here come two acquaintances. I wouldn't call them friends, but they're known in our group of friends I knew. And I guess as we passed, they said, I like your raincoat. I didn't hear them because I was obviously busy thinking about my Red Hots. Okay? So for the next year, anytime our group of friends would hang out or there'd be a big thing going on, it'd be like, hey, these girls don't really want you to be invited. They don't really like you. And I was like, what? Why? Who wouldn't like me? This is my thought. So finally, after a year, I go to them. I'm like, hey, guys, what have I done? Why don't you like me? And they're like, well, when it was raining and we walked by you, we said we liked your raincoat, and you didn't say anything because obviously you think we're lame. And I was like, what are you talking about? I did not hear you, and I had Red Hots in my pocket. But what was crazy to me was because they made an assumption about me. They decided I ignored them, and that they had a whole thing. I actually did it on purpose. I didn't like them. I was jealous of them. There was a whole story that they had behind me not saying thank you about my raincoat. That they were telling everybody how they didn't like me. And what was sad was when we finally cleared that up, they're actually really fun. They're some of my funnest friends. And I thought, you guys missed out because I am also a lot of fun. And the three of us could have had a whole another year and a half of enjoying each other if you wouldn't have decided from a simple interaction that I wasn't worth being invited in. right? So there's a little preface of what we're going to be talking about in that I want our community of women, I want to call you guys higher. I don't know if you guys experience this out there, but sometimes when I talk that I lead a women's community, people that aren't in church will kind of go, ooh, yeah, I don't really like that. Or women, I don't like to be in a group of women. I'm like, really? Why? And like, I just don't fit in, or people don't like me, or, you know, I don't want to do what they do. And I'm like, oh, I think God I would want us to be a community of women that's different. That when people walk in the door, they know they're wanted here. They know they're welcome. They know they're seen. They know that they are going to be invited and brought in. Why? Because we care more than our own uncomfortable or our own story we've built up about somebody, right? So when you read 2 Samuel 9, 1 through 13, it is the story of King David and Mephibosheth. But I'm going to give you a little backstory. For those that don't know about Saul and David, I love David because David is a hot mess, and yet he has like these amazing moments that we're all like, oh my gosh, I want to be like King David. And you're like, yeah, and then in the next chapter, he like falls miserably, and he's like begging the Lord for, and I just love him. He makes me feel like I'm going to be okay. Like if you read Psalms, he's like, I'm melting like candle wax. Kill me, Lord. Oh, and then you showed up and you're so wonderful and life is good. I'm all, okay. He was a little moody. He felt us. He understands, right? So I just want to preface, this is a really high moment of David's life, all right? So he had great favor with Saul. Saul disobeys the Lord. David gets anointed. Saul loved him because he would play his harp for him and make him feel better. See, David's wonderful. Then David defeated Goliath, and everybody sang, Saul has slain thousands, and David his tens of thousands, and now Saul doesn't like him. And then Saul tried to kill David multiple times. I made a list of every way that Saul tried to kill David. I'm not going to read them to you, but it's a lot of ways Saul tried to kill David. He even tried to get his son to kill him, who was his best friend. Okay? It says Saul hunted David like an enemy. I don't know about you guys, but like I have a hard time wanting to be around somebody who kind of gave me attitude at the grocery store, let alone if they tried to kill me. I think I would have an extra hard time. I'm just saying, I might not want to invite them over if they tried to kill me. But David becomes king, Saul dies. Jonathan is killed, Saul's killed. David becomes king. It was the cultural thing to do that you kill off the family of the ruler before you, because you didn't want anybody coming and trying to upset your rule. So it was normal. It would not have been looked down upon at all if he would have gone in and just killed all of Saul's family, because that's what you did. But David did it different. I actually also looked up a list of every ruler that did kill the family before, and there was only 2 that did it different. And David was one. And he went and called and asked for Mephibosheth to be brought to the king's table, to be seated at the table with him. Which to me shows like he extended grace, not judgment. And all it did for me, I sat here and I went, oh my gosh, how many of us, or me, decide that what was done wrong to us is worth, no, I get to decide. And I've decided you're not worthy to be here anymore. Now, I'm not talking, you guys, I do want to preface, this is not somebody who's abusing you. I mean, I hope you guys understand, there is a difference of somebody who is unsafe in your life. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that we have chosen. I just don't want to deal with this. You hurt my feelings, and I don't want to face it. So you know what? You're not worth sitting at my table anymore. Or you know what? I heard a story from somebody else, and I don't think you're a very good person. Or, you know what? One day I walked into church, and I was pretty lonely, and you walked right by me. So you know what? Find your own seat. You're not invited to my table. I mean, how many times did we have a bad day? And you weren't your best. What if everybody decided to reject you on your worst day? Because let me tell you, there'd be a lot of tables I wouldn't be invited to if on my worst day I was judged by who I am. So David, though, extends grace. He goes, I'm going to trust you, Mephibosheth, and I'm going to honor you. I mean, the king's table was a place of honor. It wasn't even just like, hey, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to put you in a place of honor. And he didn't just forgive him once. He gave him a permanent spot for the rest of his life to eat at that king's table. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've got a big family. And as nice as I can be, a lot of people piss me off. Let's just be honest, all right? Like, how dare you say my sweet potatoes aren't as good as so-and-so's? Or, actually, anything negative about my children, don't even go there, because I'll kill you. And I feel like I am so gracious because I still do Thanksgiving with them once a year. Like, aren't we awesome? Look at us. We're so gracious. We have dinner once a year with people we don't really like. And David's like, no, you get to sit. I'm going to invite you for the rest of your life to sit at the king's table. You are going to be given the best food in the land every day of your life. Now, obviously we know the challenge that this can bring to us to be like David, to extend kindness, to not walk in judgment, to look at people the way God would have you see them, I think a lot of this is self-righteous, like I somehow have the right to make a judgment about somebody else. But I would say this, you cannot get to I'm choosing to be kind if you don't know what Jesus says about you, right? So if we aren't at a spot where we go, we've experienced his forgiveness. We've experienced him speak over me like, hey, you are a new creation. I believe in you. Even when you fail over and over again, I believe in you. I see you. I know you by name. Then when somebody messes up around you, you can look at them and go, hey, you are still welcome at my table. Like, I want to walk with you, right? But if we're broken ourselves, it's like, hey, you just stay over there because I'm too much of a mess to let you into my mess. So this is part of the challenge I'm bringing you guys. Yes, be kind, but let's also get to know what Jesus says about you. Receive the truth over you so you can truly walk with people. So I want to talk about Mephibosheth's perspective in this. So Mephibosheth was dropped. When his father and grandfather were killed, his nurse who had him fled and dropped him. He was 5 years old and he was crippled from being dropped. So he had, as you can imagine, a ton of shame, and he was terrified. It said he was terrified when he was asked to come to the king's table. So he had been isolated. He had been hiding most of his life. He's crippled. What does he have to bring the king? Number one, he has got no defense. If the king wants to take him out, what's he supposed to do? And so the guts for him to show up and then to choose to stay when the king invited him to the table. I mean, talk about feeling unworthy. Like, he's crippled. He has nothing to give the king, right? I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have had family that has done things wrong to other people. but it is a heavy weight. So I can't imagine the king inviting you in and your family tried to kill him. Like, so just sitting there and thinking, wow, how did Mephibosheth bring himself and then stay there? I love the picture that was painted the first time I ever heard a talk about Mephibosheth was one of the beautiful things when he took his seat at the table was that nobody at the table could see that he was crippled. So once the king put him in his place and he said, I want to be there, I receive it, thank you, nobody could see that. I don't know if you guys feel this way. I walked through a long journey of anxiety. I've made lots of mistakes in my life, and I know there were seasons where I felt like I walked around with it just written across me. This is what I struggle with. Like everybody knew. Everybody knew the imperfections I have. And I remember people would look at me and go, nobody knows what you're struggling with. I'm like, oh, they do. They can sense it and see it. I'm sweating profusely, number one, so they all should know I'm having an anxiety attack as it's dripping out of my armpits. But supposedly they didn't know. But just sitting there and thinking, when you truly accept the invitation that the Lord has for you to sit at the table, you are not seen. You are not seen by what your struggle is. Sorry, I don't know why I'm crying. I did this when the first time I heard about Mephibosheth. It so moved me. Just the Lord's kindness. And just his we don't deserve it. We don't deserve what he did for us, yet he did it. You know? And he truly loves us, and it's truly for us. You know, it's so big to understand, oh, we don't deserve it, yet he did it. And he wants us to fully accept it and walk in it. Yet, we don't deserve it. You know, it's so humbling and so freeing all at the same time. To just imagine. I mean, Mephibosheth was given a new life. He was given a new life out of kindness. And I just was sitting tonight, as I've been leading up to tonight, thinking about our women in our church going, I want us to be a place that people know they are welcome and they are brought higher and they are believed in. They are seen and they are known. But I also want it to be a place that people can show up broken with none of their crap together and know they are invited to the table and they will encounter Jesus who will say, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Okay. I had not planned on crying at all tonight. When I practiced at home, there were no tears. I practiced a few times. None of them made me cry. I do want to take a moment and speak to that if you are someone in this room that you think, no, I cannot bring this to the king's table. That may be good for Mephibosheth, but you don't know what I have. It's too big to hide behind a table, or it's too big for the Lord to wipe clean. And I want you guys to take a moment to hear what he has to say. That he would invite you, that he would do all of that he did in our life. He would sacrifice everything just for you. I want us to be a group of women that believe in each other. Have you ever been around somebody who you can tell your victories to, and they celebrate it with you, and you feel like you leave that was amazing? But you know the people that you tell your victories too, and then they're kind of like silent, and you don't feel very happy around them. Like, okay, I feel kind of dumb. Like, never mind, I'm going to talk it down. Like, it wasn't that great what I did today. Never mind. I shouldn't have told you about that because now I made you feel bad that my day wasn't as good as your day. I don't know what it is, but you know when you're believed in and supported, and you know when you're not, right? And I want us to be a group of women that on Sundays at church, at every AY gathering, at small groups, we are looking at other women going, I believe in you. I'm going to call you higher. And when somebody says, hey, I got a new job, or I met this man and he loves me, or I'm pregnant, or whatever it is, we're able to look and go, oh, I celebrate that with you, right? That when somebody comes and says they're struggling, you don't go, I kind of thought you were. You look pretty bad. I just think, it was funny, Banning and I have been talking a lot about the men and women of our church. And one of the things we talk about, he goes, the men are being called to lead. But they're being called to lead because the women always do. And I'm like, yeah, but I think we've had to because there's been such a deficit. And so I'm like, hey, instead of leading like a man, Lord, what are you calling us to? If we're going to be in a church full of men that are going to step into the place they're supposed to step into, then what does it look like to be a healthy woman of God? And I would say we're strong, we're going to lead, but we are going to believe in each other. And we are going to invite all the unknowns. We're going to invite everybody that looks like they don't know where they fit. They don't know who they are. Or, you know what? Somebody who's just new. Why would we not be welcoming unless we have something we haven't dealt with? So I just want to take time tonight at our tables to actually think through, what is it that would keep me from inviting somebody to the table? What is it that's in there? I mean, you know what's crazy? If you really break it down, sometimes actually I'm afraid. I'm afraid they won't like me. Or I'm afraid I'll do it wrong. So you know what? I'm just not going to do it, and then I'm going to make it their fault. Right? So if I don't invite them, and then I say I didn't invite them because I heard they're drug users, is that okay, Lord? No, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. They're not drug users. Gosh. No, but I mean, I do feel like that's the stuff we do. We come up with our own story to justify why we don't reach out, or to justify why I showed up at church and sat by myself the whole night because it felt safer, and if I would have reached out, they would have not liked me, right? So you are at a table of women who are going to lead in this church. I would encourage you that people can't know you if you don't share anything with them, right? And if you're not honest. But they also are going to tell you a lot more if they know you believe in them. My favorite person in our family is Banning's dad, and that's because he's always on my side. But in all reality, isn't that the way we should be? Like if somebody hurts my feelings, he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Gosh, I wish they wouldn't have said that. Or if I'm like, guess what? I led a meeting today and I stayed up focused for the whole 45 minutes. I didn't share any rabbit trails. And he'd be like, you're so good at this, SeaJay. I'm like, thanks, Larry. Or like everything I cook, he says it's the best thing he's ever eaten. It's not. I know it, but he says it and and I'm like, we need to be a Larry for everybody in your life, all right? we talk often because, like, my kids, if they get something new, the person they call is Grampy. That's Larry. They don't call other family members who I think they get a little jealous. And I'm like, well, you know what? Be excited for them. And they'll call you. Even if you think their thing they did is stupid, just be excited. Because that's what we need. We need people that believe in us, because ultimately that's going to call us higher. Right? All right. Well, thank you for sitting through the tears and the awkwardness of me doing this. But I feel like we are on a trajectory, ladies, that we can choose to go higher, or we can choose to just settle into the mundane. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to settle into the mundane. I want to grow more. I want to be amongst a group of women who are I can't describe it. It's a picture I have in my head of, like, I am going after God with all I am. I want to take as many people with me as want to go, but it's not an elite club. It's all of us. And some of us have a limp. Some of us can't see straight, but we're all going to do it together. All right? At night, I need a lot of you to hold my hand. My vision goes bad at night. All right? Ladies, and maybe a few men, if you've enjoyed this sermon and message, or my favorite thing is when people say, I was asked to share, because as women, we get scared to say we preached, because it's like more okay to say we shared. I preached that message, if you were wondering. I just want to take a moment and pray for you, that if you are somebody that maybe has felt justified to hold something against people, to hold it in unforgiveness in your heart, and that would keep them from having access to something, that you would see it, ask the Lord for forgiveness, and ask him for next steps of what you should do. And then if you are someone that feels like Mephibosheth, that feels unworthy to be invited to the table, to think that you or your life is something that God would not redeem, I just want to take a moment and say, Lord, we ask you to come and meet them right where they are, whether in the car, sitting at home, on a walk, and that you would open their ears to hear what you have to say about them. I just want to encourage you to close your eyes. I feel like the Lord is going to show you a picture of what he has for you, of how he sees you. So, Father, we just ask that you would seal this. Lord, we ask for freedom from these lies. And we just thank you for all you're doing in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, thank you for listening. And I hope you have a great rest of the day, week, night, whatever it is. If you, once again, want to say anything to us, go to AuthenticYou.ay on Instagram. Send us a message. We'd love to hear from you.